The AMD stock fell after it missed a revenue target by over $1 billion. So where is the stock headed and should you buy? Stay focused for the next few minutes as we go through recent news as well as my chart analysis and price prediction. But before we do that, subscribe to our channel Stocks 101 for regular stock market updates. First up, AMD itself had estimated a revenue of $6.7 billion for the third quarter, but a recent statement reveals that the actual revenue will be around $5.6 billion. This billion-dollar difference was caused by a slowdown in the PC industry, which affected Nvidia and other stocks as well. The company also has supply chain issues due to recent world affairs and a cool-off from the online transition of 2020, where everyone from workers to students used PCs for their work. Analysts suggest that the demand for computers will continue to decline in the fourth quarter as more people focus on buying old chips that have depreciated in value, resulting in lesser sales for new models. With all that in mind, let's analyze the charts. So as you guys can see right here, we're now in the 1-day chart for AMD, and first we'll analyze the 1-day chart, then the 1-hour chart, and to end it off, we'll get into the 5-minute chart. But right off the bat, we can see that this over here was the day when the negative earnings estimate was released, and after that, of course, we can see that we made a negative pin bar candle. Well, not exactly a negative pin bar candle, but a pin bar candle which indicates that even though buyers pushed the stock all the way up here, the sellers did take over in the aftermarket, or rather, in the closing hours. And well, as you guys can see, the bears won. And now I believe that today the market would probably open in a gap down somewhere around here, I guess, right? And after that, we'll probably crash even further, right? We might get somewhat of a recovery in the closing hours, of course, around 1 p.m. But until then, I don't believe that the stock would see any bearish signs, or rather any bullish signs on the 1-hour chart. If we talk about some levels for the long term on the 1-day chart, of course, first up, this level over here seems to be very prominent, around $69.1. I think I've discussed this before with you guys. After that, of course, we have the level over here at $63.3. After that, somewhere around here at 64.5. Let me mark it real quick. 64.5. And of course, this bottom we made over here somewhere around 67.85, right? But we won't be marking that. Instead, we'll be marking somewhere around here. So this around 67.85 would prove to be a resistance as well. If we look at the bigger picture, we can clearly see that we've been in somewhat of a, or rather not even somewhat, we've been in an absolute bearish trend, because we can see that we made a higher high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Again, the trend just continues, and now I believe that we're on our way to make another lower high, or rather, we just made it, I believe. Over here, we can clearly see that we fell from this high that we made after touching the $69 resistance, right? So of course, we might get a pullback over here, go a bit over here, then get another pullback somewhere down there, right? But in my opinion, the stock probably won't rise up until here, right, when the earnings report comes out. And once it's out, then probably the stock would turn around a bit. Until then, I don't believe that the stock could probably go up. If we talk about the company, definitely it is a good company. It's pretty solid in its industry, right? And it's growing. That's the main part. But I do not believe that, just a growing company is enough to go over the short-term stuff. Of course, for the long-term stuff, it's great, right? If you want to buy AMD, personally, I believe that it's currently at a good price, right? Anything below $60, $70 would be a great price. So that is good. But if you look at the long-term target, of course, it sits somewhere around over $100. It would take some time, right? At least 9, 10 months, 11 months. But if we talk about a shorter target, somewhere around, I would say 3 months, like by the end of 2022, I believe that the stock probably won't close 2022 on a positive note. And why do I believe that? Well, we already know that, the earnings numbers are pretty much messed up. The inflation reports are messed up. The Fed is messing things up as well. So in my opinion, the stock would probably close 2022 somewhere around this price range itself, around 67, 68, $70. But after that, when we get into 2023, a new financial year begins, that's when I believe the stock can really go up. And then we might see somewhat of a pattern like this. Let me draw it out for you. I believe that the stock would continue to hover over here, go down a bit. If something positive happens over here, which probably would, right, around Christmas sale, we would probably see some growth. Once we get over here, right, after that, of course, when the new financial year begins, we'll probably see some growth. Now, don't mind these dates over here, right? Just look at what I'm saying. Just listen to what I'm saying. And over here, I believe that after that, we might get into a bull run after hitting. Let me get a strong support level over here. Let's see. So a strong support would probably be somewhere around here at 59 or rather just $60. So I believe that the stock probably won't go below $60 this year. But with that being said, let's analyze some short-term movements and jump into the 1 hour chart. If we look at the stock's previous patterns on the one hour chart, we can clearly see that we've been following a specific pattern where we get a bit volatile, go up, come over here, down, and then we make somewhat of a cup and handle pattern, right? If we look closely, pretty much a cup and handle pattern. And over here as well, pretty much a cup and handle pattern. So after that, of course, I believe that we're now on our way to make another cup and handle pattern. Since we're over here, I believe that we'll probably, wait, let me clear out all the old drawings, right? We'll probably go up over here and of course go down and another cup and handle. That's what I believe is going to happen. But then again, in my opinion, the stock wouldn't go down all the way into the $50-$60 range, right? I believe that the stock would probably get a strong support at the $60 level. So let's keep that marked, right? Around $60. That would be a pretty strong support level. If we look at what could happen today, if we look at the possibilities, if we draw out a scenario, I believe that the stock would probably, as I already told you, open in a gap down. And after that, we might get probably two candles in the red. We might see a green candle after that, another few red candles. The last candle, in my opinion, would probably be green because after all of this fall, the buyers would probably be over here that, hey, the stock is at a good price, let's scoop some up. And the next day, of course, we might be in a gap up. And after that, of course, we'll fall down, right? We might get some green candles in there. And after that, of course, we'll end the day off with a red candle. This is my prediction for the 1 hour chart. And now let's jump into the 5-minute chart to analyze some intraday trades. So now that we're in the 5-minute chart, we can see that there are a lot of signals over here, a lot to be analyzed. We'll first start out by pointing out some double tops and marking those areas. We can clearly see that we made a double top over here around the $69.2 range. After that, we can see that over here we made a double bottom somewhat at 68.25. We made another double top around here at $68.5, another double bottom somewhere around over here at $68. Of course, another double top over here, right? A few more double tops over here at $68. And of course, if we look over here at the pin bar candle, right, we can clearly see that it indicates a short-term bull move. But if we look at the larger picture, of course, it's a bearish trend. We can clearly look at this intraday low that we made over here at $67.33. And of course, these lows that we made, we got supported over here somewhat at $67.65, right? We did get some engulfing candles over here, which indicate more further bearish momentum. And of course, we did get an insider candle as well over here. If we look at the past picture, we can clearly see that, even before that, we were getting a lot of double tops and double bottoms. If we look at some support and resistance levels, of course, $66 would be, a resistance. And of course, over here would probably be a support at 63.35. If we look at the current price, of course, 65.92 or rather 66 is a support, right? If we look at the current chart, let's analyze this. We did make a high over here at 70.28, I believe, 70.25, somewhere around there, right? After that, we did fall. We got some huge selling momentum over here. We can see that over here in the mid market, we did make somewhat of a head and shoulders pattern where, this was the first shoulder and this was the head. And of course, this was, the second shoulder. And then we went down, of course, right? So let me get this cross real quick. Of course, after that, the market was range bound. And I already told you guys that, the next day we're probably going to open up in a gap down, right? So this red candle over here, two red candles, one green candle. This indicates more selling pressure than the buying pressure. So this would probably mean that we'll open below the $67.65 support. With that being said, what's the conclusion? Well, my analysis says that AMD is bearish on the short term and it's a good stock if you want to hold it for the long term. If you want to profit from it, definitely, you can trade it on the short term, you can sell it, you can, trade its options or something like that. But with that being said, remember that this is just my own analysis and I could be wrong. So remember that you should Always do your own research before you trade. This is definitely not financial advice, but of course, you can hit the like button if you enjoyed my analysis. If you did not enjoy it, be sure to hit the dislike button. You can subscribe to our channel Stocks 101 for more such videos. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one.